Welcome to IT and Motorsport Channel Cars, this episode with IT legend Sandeep. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. What a wonderful day, and it's nice to have you in our front yard with all the the vehicles and the cars here. So thank you for coming here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me, and really looking forward to having a look around your 296 GTS. Unnamed but female,
Yes.
as we will discover, and also having a look around some of your other cars as well, the two Porsches that were flanking your beautiful 296. So let's go and have a look.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's do that.
So we've established that she is a she.
Yes.
Does she have a name?
Well, as of now, she doesn't have a name, so it's just my latest acquisition. That's what I call her. And as you would have guessed, Daniel, it's one of the newer Ferrari models called the 296. This happens to be a GTS, which is a spider. It's a convertible, and it comes in a color called Verde Menthe, which is a bit of an unusual color on a Ferrari, but it looks just fine.
It's a beautiful colour. Did you choose from a sample, or had you seen her in the flesh?
So the way this car came about is I've had a Ferrari before this one, which was a Portofino. That was in Portofino, Ferrari Portofino color, which is a shade of red. And when we were looking for the next car, I was actually shopping for an SF90, which is Ferrari's first hybrid launch. But then I came across this brand new car with one of the dealers, and it really took our fancy. It had lots of features in it that sort of tick the boxes for me, and it was probably love at first sight. So it was not a chosen color, but the way it happened was the color was on the car, and the car was instantly a hit.
And it sounds like a green colour in terms of the title, but I would say it's blue.
Yeah, they call it Verde Menthe, and I mean, again, it's a bit. It's one of those things. It could be a shade of blue or a shade of green. I think it's a bit of turquoise, but in any case, it looks really beautiful on the car. I mean, I seem to get a lot of compliments for the color, so it does look fine.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen this colour before, and as you say, it's really striking. It really suits the car and the shape, I think.
Sure. It's got the silver calipers, as you noticed. The wheels look pretty good as well on this one. They contrast very nicely with the colour of the car.
Agreed, and just enough space to clean the inside of the
wheel
rim.
True. But it's always my pet peeve, with the big calipers and the big discs.
Yeah.
To get the rims clean and detailed, as we call them, you have to put in a lot of hard work to get the right angle, and then turn the car, move it back and forth, and then you clean the rims all across.
And occasionally losing a little bit of skin off the knuckles in the process.
Yes, that too.
And I imagine this car has got lots of options. Do you know what they are, or some of the things?
Well, I wouldn't be able to recite all the list. It does have a long list of options. I mean, the most obvious ones are obviously a lot of carbon, as you see, carbon sills on the sides and the front. The rear spoiler is carbon as well. There's a lot of carbon in the drive space, in the cockpit. So those are definitely some of the more desirable options, but it does have things like Apple CarPlay and ADAS, which is the lane assist and all that sort of stuff. So it does have a long list. I mean, you can have a look at that later. I think the list is down stuck on the plate, options plate in the frunk.
And you've pre-answered one of my questions then. What do we call a front boot? A frunk?
It's a frunk,
Okay.
Yes. Well, that's the terminology I think that's become very popular.
Okay.
These kind of cars. So a front trunk is a frunk, isn't it?
And you also have a heads-up display, I'm guessing from what
That's
I'm seeing.
absolutely right. Yeah, there's a heads-up display there. Yeah, you can see the little notch in the cockpit there.
And we'll have a look inside shortly, but the seat colour, I think, really complements well with the...
Yeah, the seat color is quite a nice contrast to the color of the car, and it also has a Cavallino crest in the same color as the car color, which we'll see when we open the roof and the windows.
So many little details to get the camera into as well. I imagine you can just spend hours and hours looking at this car and spotting something new.
You're so right, because these cars, the Ferraris, the newer Ferraris these days, there's so much of engineering and modern technology in it, especially this one being a hybrid. It's very clever in the way they've designed the positioning of the engine and where the battery sits between the engine and the rear suspension, I believe. So yeah, there's so many intricacies to the car.
Perhaps that's actually the first hatch we should open then and have a look at the engine.
Well, for sure, yeah. Let me do that. Let me open the hatch. So the way you open the hatch, there's a little release lever here, and you then open the hatch. And one thing they could have done is put some shockers in there, as they call it, to keep them open.
And these orange cables, I'm guessing, are the hybrid.
That's the
elements.
hybrid battery cables, yeah, that the electric works.
So that's effectively here then, the battery.
Oh, the battery, the way I understand is the battery sits somewhere behind the engine, underneath, way below.
Ah, okay.
And this is a rear-wheel drive car, so the engine works in tandem with the battery to propel the rear wheels.
And the correct designation is a mid-engine, and I can just see the back of the engine.
That's right. That's right. It's a
little bit of
3-liter
red,
V6, as they call it. So this is technically Ferrari's first 3-liter V6 with the badge Ferrari on it. I believe the last time they did it was the Dino, which is a Ferrari, but they never called it Ferrari, did they? But it's some really superior technology. I mean, when you drive this car, you just feel that it's so different. I mean, there are 3-liter V6 engines, but the way this car sounds and handles and runs, wow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not crank the engine. I'm just going to open the roof with the battery system of the cars, because it works just fine. So that way you'll hear the car very quiet, but the roof will open up.
Okay.
There we are.
Sunshine mode active.
Indeed, it is a mode that we didn't, we don't get quite often in this country, but we enjoy when the sun gets out.
Beautiful. And it's not happy about something.
I think that's because I've kept the keys in my pocket. I'll just leave them back in the car.
Very good. And given the fact the roof does go down so easily and quickly,
It does. I believe it takes about 14 seconds. And if you noticed, Daniel, it's got a glass rear window as well. So when the roof is up, obviously the window is closed, and it does get a nice feeling when the roof is down, because it's very airy and open.
And presumably that means you can put that rear glass down with the roof up as well, if you just want a bit of
You can if
noise.
you want to.
Yeah.
I've not tried it yet, but I believe
Okay.
you can, yes.
Okay. And that looks to be an aerodynamic device as well, the bar across.
It does, it does. So that's sort of bar that connects. I think it probably gives some stiffness to the body and the aerodynamics. Now, you asked me some time ago about the features and the carbon. We talked about the carbon. If you notice, these are the special seats on this car with lots of carbon. So what we can do is open the door and put the seat down so you can have a little feel of the... There we go. So it's a two-seater car with the frunk, which is pretty decent actually, and there's a bit of a space behind the seat to keep, you know, small bags and things like that.
Yeah, quite a reasonable space actually. So far we're getting 10 out of 10 for practicality, I would say.
I think so, because, you know, we coming from the Portofino going onto this car, obviously the Portofino had a very nice big rear boot, so that's a front engine car. So while I was acquiring this, I was kind of a bit anxious to see how much space this car has. I thought I would have to sacrifice on the space, but to be honest, there's more than enough in the front, and I'll show that to you in a minute.
Well, let's do the frunk then.
Okay, so let me open the frunk, and the way to open that is a small little switch button on the right handlebar on the right door. Press that. And there we are. So I'd say, you know, without the stuff that I have in there, you're looking at a decent cabin bag size of luggage in there. Fairly decent space. And as I mentioned, that's the options list there.
Marvellous. So had someone ordered this car and then cancelled it?
No, that's not how it happened.
Right.
The way this car was ordered was by the dealer themselves.
Okay.
I think they ordered it not even so much to be a demo car. They ordered it just with a very unique spec, with the hope that somebody will like it and then buy it. And that's exactly what happened. So they bought the car. They had it in the showroom, and I liked every bit of it, and that's how it ended up with me.
And we've got a couple of bags here. So you've got a car cover.
There's a car cover. There is some of the G Technique, I guess, car care type of equipment there.
Yes.
You have the tire kit, which is the air compressor and things like that. I'm not sure what that is. We need to figure out what that is. I think it's a toolkit there in there.
Even the toolkit is a pretty thing.
I've not opened it yet, so just the way it came. Thankfully, I've not had a need to touch these things.
No, absolutely.
And hopefully I don't have to.
No. Yeah, no, really good size frunk, and with the space behind, I'd say easily you'd be able to pack for a
weekend at least. Yeah. So if you're going, for a few days out, I'd say, even a long weekend out to the mainland Europe, there's enough space in there for carrying stuff for you and your, co-driver.
And talking recently to a 458 owner, who shall remain nameless,
sure.
He was telling me how there's a trick to packing the frunk, and you basically have lots of nooks and crannies. So you basically pack and unpack each time, and you leave a bag on the top,
Right.
so that you basically unpack into the bag rather than trying
This
to
sounds
find,
like someone who has done the perfected the art of
Yes,
packing for a holiday.
exactly right. So perhaps we'll come back and revisit when you've done a few weekends away,
Sure.
and see if you have you got all the socks down the corner,
Yes, yes, yes.
toothbrush just down there.
That really is. I'd love to meet the gentleman and or lady, and then But whilst the frunk is open, you see the daytime running lights. They're quite different, quite unique. I think they do the job very well. Very good looking. In these modern cars, the space of these lights get less and less, but they become more and more effective, isn't it?
Yeah, really bright, and it's a bright day today, but you can definitely
But you can see them that they're on, on a bright
yeah.
sunny day. Yes.
Super.
Okay, so if you're comfortable with that, let's close the frunk. And normally people say when you're closing these things, you leave them nice and easy, and then you put equal pressure in the middle, and off you go.
Yeah, some people prefer the slamming method, don't they?
Well, I'm not so sure about these cars, but
You've got to be brave, haven't you?
It's an even pressure in the middle, and then that gets the job done.
I think she appreciates you closing the frunk in that
In
one.
the way we did, yes, definitely.
Very good. And well, what can you tell us? We've got the very unique Ferrari steering wheel.
It does. I mean, Ferraris are known for obviously having lots of controls on the steering. I guess the philosophy is not to have too many things jutting out, so your hands are always planted on the steering wheel. So in that manner, this car is very similar to the previous ones. I guess what's very unique and different in this car is obviously for the last couple of years, the new models, Ferrari has gone for all these haptic controls. So there's very little physical control. The Manettino it remains as it was, but then there's e-Manettino here, as they call it, where you can switch between e-drive and hybrid and the qualifying and performance modes. So that's very much haptic. You then have the light switch controls on the left side and the wiper and washer controls on the right. You have this panel here which manages all of the settings to do with I guess the infotainment and the car systems, things like that. You have your standard left and right turn indicators, and then on this panel you have your cruise control and voice commands and those kind of things. And obviously at the back there are a couple of controls that manage volume, muting and those kind of things. And then on the right side you can change your channels on your radio or your sound source, as well as I think there's a couple of other things that you can do here which I've not quite figured out, to be really honest, because it takes time to understand these cars. Down in the front panel then you have your light switches. This car has a front lift, so you have a front lift button there. You can manage your parking assist from here. You can switch on your cameras from this side, manage your rear view mirror settings from here as well. And on the left side panel you have your climate control and your basically climate control settings are all in here. Now if you notice, Daniel, this car also has a passenger side screen there. I think there's some features in there which the passenger can manage themselves, mainly to do with the sound, telemetry of the car as it's driving. You can observe from there. And then most of the stuff that is managed from here, you see that in the front screen, which is quite intuitive. Right now there's a couple of lights in there. We're looking at that. Nothing ominous. But then you can obviously using these panels you can switch and change what you want to see. You can slide these buttons here, and as you see there, the navigation has come up there. So there's a fair amount of stuff in here. Now I've heard people who have had 296s say that this can get a bit quite overwhelming. Being the techies that we are, sometimes we're not sort of fazed by these things. We open the manual, and sometimes you don't need the manual. You just figure out what it is. So I'm in the process of doing that. I think I have most things figured out, but there might be a few things that I mentioned in the back here that I'm not quite got myself to use yet. But there you go. So that's the cockpit.
Okay.
One other thing I can tell you is on the right side, I was mentioning earlier here on the door panel, this car has the door release switch, which locks and unlocks the door. Well, it unlocks the door, not so much lock. And then down below here, you have these 3 buttons, one for the frunk, one for the plug-in hybrid system, as in the plug-in port at the back that opens. This is a plug-in hybrid, this one here. And then this is the fuel flap on the right side. Okay. So those are the switches for that. And then in the mid footwell, you have some other things as well. Let's get the key out of the way. You have your roof controls here. You have the windows up and down here, and you're very unique. I think the SF90 and the 296 has a very similar gear shift, which looks retro, but essentially it's all the electronics doing the work. So those are the gear controls here. Then you have hazard lights and some SOS. There's a decent amount, not huge, but there's a decent amount of space in this little cubby hole here. And this little thing, I think it's a it's a Ferrari way. The key is quite unique on this car, but you can plug it in here, and that sort of fits in snugly as you drive the car. Then up in the front, you have the wireless charging for your phones, smartphones. You can leave that there. And so I'd say, there's a decent amount of stuff in here that for a comfortable ride and for a journey, unless you are not comfortable with fiddling these things, it can be fairly okay.
I think it's really inviting, actually. The materials, I mean, what you'd expect always from a Ferrari and any luxury car. It just looks very tactile.
It is. I mean, it's very high quality interior. Obviously, you have the Alcantara. You have the loss of carbon, which obviously is an option, but you have all the way from the top to the middle here, and then the seats are the Daytona seats, as you know, with lots of carbon. They're very comfortable seats. I'm not sure for very long drives how they will be. I think certainly for a person of my not very thick and very big set person, I have not had any issues in long drives as well. I mean, I've driven it for 100 miles. Very comfortable.
Okay, model designation on the dashboard, as is the Ferrari way.
Yeah, I've never seen the designation placed anywhere else. It seems to be a pretty standard place for all the Ferraris. Yeah.
And just looking at this seat, it looks amazing. Just all the material is in exactly the right place to support you. Not an ounce of unrequired carbon or leather.
Indeed. I was pretty impressed with I never realized they do the Cavallino crest in the same color as the car color, which is quite an interesting feature.
Yeah. And again, it just stands out really well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. And as you say, we've got the panel here for the passenger.
That's right. You have the audio. You have the performance settings there, navigation, and of course you can switch it on and off. If you go for navigation, you just show mini version. Not very practical, I think, but it's okay. I think while you're driving, somebody else can set the navigation. That's a very practical use of it, I think. And then you can of course go back, and then you can manage your audio source and radio and things like that from here. And then I guess the most important thing is if we are a car buff and you're sitting next to the driver, you would want to see the performance of the car in terms of the G-force and the positioning, center of gravity, those kind of things.
And we'll have a look at that when we go out for a drive shortly.
Sure.
You started your MSP to help business owners master technology. Isn't it time you were rewarded for that? MSP Finance Team helps hard-working MSP owners finally get the profit, time, and control they deserve. With better financial and strategic insight, you can make better decisions, leading to more control, profit, and time. Our approach is unique. We focus exclusively on MSP businesses, and we meld bookkeeping, CFO as a service, accounting, and mentoring to help you get started, scale, or sell. We bring you the freedom to focus on what's important, whether it's growing your business strategically or enjoying spontaneous moments with your family. So visit mspfinanceteam.com today and take the first step towards financial mastery. Because when it comes to your MSP finances, it's not just business, it's a numbers game.